Good day, good people. Let us look at the application of the first principle. Okay, the application of your first principle. Now, when we talk of F principle, this is what we talk about. Limit approaches zero, f x plus h minus f of x divided by h. This would be your first principle. Now, let's say we are given f of x equals to 9x squared minus 4. They want us to solve this by using the first principle. And solving this by using the first principle, it will be limit h approaches 0. Then we are having, where does x? We will then have to write it as x plus h. The function of x, it is x plus h. Now we will replace the x with what? X plus h. Then we're going to square it. Now it will be 9x plus h squared minus 4. Okay. Then in writing f of x, it will be 9 multiplied by x squared minus 4. Now it will be minus, open bracket, 9x squared minus 4, close bracket, divide by what? By h. Okay, this is what we have. What do we have here? It is the difference of 2 square. Then it will be limit as h approaches 0. Then we are having 9. Then it will be x plus h, x plus h, because it is the difference of 2 squares, minus 4. Then here it will be negative 9, negative multiplied by 9, it will give us negative 9 squared. Negative multiplied by negative, it will be positive 4. Divide by what? Divide by h. Then it will be limit, as long as you haven't substituted, you will continuously write that limit. It will be limit as h approaches 0. Then here we are having x multiplied by x. It will give us x squared. X multiplied by, it will be plus xh. Then h multiplied by x, it will be plus xh. Then h multiplied by h, it will give us h squared, close bracket. Then we're having minus 4 minus 9x squared plus 4 divided by h. Then it will be limit as h approaches 0. Then here we will add xh plus xh. Then it will give us 2xh. That means when we multiply and removing the bracket, multiply by 9, we will have 9x squared. Now xh plus xh, it will give us what? 2xh. Multiply by 9, it will be plus 18x multiplied by h. Then it will be plus 9 multiplied by h squared, it will be 9h squared, minus 4 minus 9x squared plus 4, divide by what? By h. Okay, then from here we can then add the like terms. Negative 4 plus 4, it will give us 0. 9x squared plus negative 9x squared, they will give us 0. Then we are left with what? We are then left with limit as h approaches 0. We are then left with 18xh plus 9h squared divided by h. Then from there we will take out the common factor. It is h as it approaches 0. Then the common factor, it is h. Then we are having 18x plus 9h. Now the h and the h will cancel out. We can then substitute h with 0. As soon as we substitute, we will no longer write what? The limit as h approaches what? 0. It will be equals to 18x plus 9 multiplied by 0. Then our answer, it is what? It is 18x. Right. We've applied the first principle. Now, I know it is not required for our syllabus. But if you want to prove if your answer is correct, remember we are given f of x equals to 9x squared, is it plus or minus 4. Now, if you want to prove if your answer is right, you can somehow differentiate. When you differentiate, we will have, when we differentiate, it will be 9 multiplied by 2x, then it will be x squared minus 1. Then we know that the differentiation of the constant number, it is what? It is 0. Then what is it that we have here? We are having 9 multiplied by 2, it is 18x. 2 minus 1, it is 1. Then we are having 18x there. This is how you will prove if your answer it is correct or not. Right. Now let's look at the second example here. Looking at the second example using the first principle, we are now given f of x equals to x quad plus 8x. Now, we can solve x squared, we can solve x cubed. But as soon as our exponent it is above x cubed, it is now x quad. We will then require to use the binomial principle to solve this sum. We are required to use the binomial principle to solve the sum using the first principle, of course. Now, I will work it out by parts so that we can understand. Now, on the first principle, we know that the formula it is f of the prime f of x equals to limit h approaches 0, then it is f x plus h minus f of x divided by h. Now, we'll work it out parts by parts so that it can make sense when we apply the binomial principle. Now, from this sum, where we have x, then we will substitute it with what? X plus h. It means we are having fx plus h. It will be, like I'm saying, by parts so that we can understand the application, therefore, of your binomial. Now, where are we going to use the binomial? We are going to use the binomial on the first term here. On the second term, it is solvable. There's no need for us to apply the binomial. We are only going to apply the binomial on the first term there. Now, we are having x plus h to the power 4 plus 8 open bracket x plus h. Now, we are then going to apply the binomial principle here. All right? We are going to apply the binomial principle from that one. Now, we know the binomial principle. I did post the video on the binomial principle. Here, we are just going to do the application of that binomial principle. Now, we have to work it out till the fourth term. All right? Now, in applying the binomial principle on this first term, we are having x to the power 4. That is the first term, plus. Then we are having 4 multiplied by x cubed multiplied by h multiplied by 1 divided by 1 factorial plus, this is the second term, right? Then the third term would be 4 multiplied by 4 minus 1, isn't it? That would be that. Multiplied by x to the power x minus, that would be 4 minus 2. Okay, multiplied by h to the power squared, divide by 2 factorial, plus the 1, 2, 3, the fourth one, it will be 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2, then it will be x to the power 1 multiplied by h to the power 3 divided by 3 factorial. Now we are having 1, 2, 3, 4. We are still dealing with this one here. That's the one that wanted us to apply the binomial principle. Then from there we are having x to the power 4 plus factorial 1, it is 1. That means here we are having 4x cubed multiplied by h to the power 1 plus, then on this one we are having 4 minus 1, it is 3. 4 multiplied by 3, it is 12. Then 12 divided by factorial 2, then it gives us what? 6. Because factorial 2, it gives us what? 2. That means here we are having 6. It will be 6 to the power x. It will be 6 multiplied by x to the power what? 2. Because 4 minus 2, it is what? 2 multiplied by h2 plus, we come on the third one. This should be factorial, not h. Okay. On the third one, on the fourth one, it will be 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by what? By 2. Okay. Then it gives us what? 24. 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 equals to 24. Then factorial 3, it is 24. Now 24 divided by 24, it will be 1. That means here we are having x to the power 1 multiplied by h to the power cube. Now we then managed, we've applied the factor, the binomial. It will be plus, remember I said I will be expanding this term here, then it will be plus 8x plus h. Okay, I think it is easier working it separately this way. Okay, it is easy working it in this manner. Now we are then having x to the power 4 plus, there are any like terms to be added here? Do we have any? No, it will be plus 4x cubed multiplied by h plus 6x squared multiplied by h squared plus x h3 plus 8 multiplied by x, it will be 8x. 8 multiplied by, it will be plus 8h. Right, this is what we have expanded here. Here we only dealt with this. All right, then we can then proceed to the second stage of your first principle. What is the second stage? It is fx plus h minus f of x. Now we haven't included h yet. We are dealing with it by parts. Okay, let's go to the second page there. Now we will be looking at fx plus h minus f of x. Okay, now let's go ahead and put that into place. Now we are having, don't forget that we are having x to the power 4 plus 8x plus 4x to the power cube h plus 6x squared multiplied by h plus 4x multiplied by h quad plus h quad, okay, plus 8h. All right, this is what we have here. This is what we have here. Okay, remember, this is what we have here, because we said, okay, here I've already rearranged. I've written it already rearranged. Don't ask where's the 8. There it is. There's the 8 there. The 8x. I've just rearranged it. Okay, then we can apply this principle here. In applying, I just rewrote this statement so that we can see when we are applying that principle. When we apply that principle there, we can then write this one, the f of x. We can write it, all of it, as it is in that orderly manner. It is 4. Come on now, let's wipe. It is x quad plus 8x plus 4x cube h plus 6x squared h plus 4xh cubed plus h quad plus 8h minus, what is f of x? F of x, it will be open bracket, it will be x quad plus 8x. Okay, then we will have x quad plus 8x plus 4x cubed h, right, plus 6x squared h plus 4xh cubed plus 4 plus h quad plus 8h minus x quad minus 8x. Then from there we can add the like terms. When we add this one with that one, they will fall out. When we add this one and that one, it will fall out. Then we are left with 4x cubed h plus 6x squared multiplied by h plus 4x h cubed plus 8h. That's what we have. That's what we are left with. We can then proceed to the third step that we need to take. The third step, it will be f of x h, f of x, that will be x h plus x plus h minus f of x, then divide by h. We already have this one. We are now going to add from here. From here we are going to add the h. From here we are going to add the h. It will be 4x cubed h plus 6x squared h plus 4xh cubed plus 8h. Divide by h. Okay, then from there we can take out the common factor. When we take out the common factor, it will be h open bracket 4x cubed plus 6x squared plus 4x h squared plus 8 divide by h. H and h will cancel out. When h and h they cancel out, then we are left with, when h and h they are cancelling out, we are left with 4x cubed plus 8 plus 6x squared multiplied by h plus 4x h squared plus h cubed. Right, this is what we are left with. We can then safely say f of x, or the prime, equals to limit as h approaches 0, then f of x minus f of x divided by h. We can then substitute, but we've already dealt with this formula. From here we are substituting with what? With 0 there. And substituting with 0, or writing this thing, the whole formula, it will be 8 as h approaches 0. It is 4x cubed plus 8 plus 6x squared h plus 4x multiplied by h squared plus h3. Then when we substitute the h with 0, we will have 4x cubed plus 8 plus 6x squared multiplied by 0 plus 4x multiplied by 0 squared plus 0 cubed. Then our answer would be 4x cubed plus 8. Because any number multiplied by 0, it is 0. This would be our answer. That would be our answer, good people. Now it is easy to check if our answer it is so. In checking if our answer it is so, now this f of x equals to x quad plus 8x. When you differentiate, it will be 4x 4 minus 1 plus 8 multiplied by x 1 minus 1. Then we'll be left with what? 4x to the power 3 plus 1 minus 1, it is 0. Anything to the power 0, it is 1. Then multiply by, then it will be 8. Boom. Our answer, it is correct. This is how you apply the first principle and your binomial theorem. Thank you, good people.